So with that, I think that's probably something where we're not going to have very many questions. It's power full steam ahead. I would like to now introduce our next panel. So we're going to be talking over the next 45 minutes or so about various institutional use cases for Altmetric and Altmetric's little a. So I want to introduce, to start us off, Dr. Bruce Herbert. So Dr. Bruce Herbert is a professor of geology and currently serves as the director of the Office of Scholarly Communication in the Evans Library at Texas A&M University. As the director of the Office of Scholarly Communication, Dr. Herbert is responsible for strengthening the library's efforts in scholarly communication and open access through engagement and collaboration with faculty across campus at Texas A&M University. So without any further ado, I will go ahead and turn it over to Dr. Herbert. Welcome.
Great, thanks, Stacy, and welcome to all the participants and people out there, and greetings from a very wet Texas today, this morning. Go ahead, flip to the next slide, Stacy. I can't do it, right? Yeah. Okay, so in the next 10 slides, I'm going to show you a little bit about how we've positioned Altmetrics here at Texas A&M to support faculty and to support some of our strategic initiatives at the university. Texas A&M is a really, really big school, and a land grant, space grant, and ocean grant institution here in the state of Texas, classic public state land grant school, but very focused on building our institutional reputation, serving the state of Texas, and translating our research and education to societal good. And so one of the things that we are very proud of is that Texas A&M was one of the few institutions that were asked to join the AAU in the 80s, long after the AAU was first started, and it's a very prestigious group of universities here in the United States, with all of the classic metrics and indicators of reputation and prestige that you would expect. How much money do we bring in, and memberships of National Academy of Sciences and Nobel Prize winners and so on like that. And of course, citations as metrics of scholarly impact. Okay, go to the next one, Stacy. Great. But what A&M is also trying to do in our most recent strategic planning exercise that has really been going on for the last 10 years, our Vision 2020, is to meld the traditional ideas of what it means to be a land grant institution with what it means to be a global university with all the prestige and reputation that it is. And so we're trying to merge those two visions together. And this is just the beginning of our most recent strategic plan, where we can turn back to the Morrill Act of 1862 that started the land grant college system here in the United States, where we're focused on education of undergraduates, so that we're producing college graduates that can go out and serve society and have productive lives and careers and so on like that. That our research is meaningful. By that, it means that it's useful, and that this research is transferred to support the state of Texas and the entire globe. Likewise, though, we want those AAU research metrics of prestige and prestige and reputation. So we're trying to figure out how to do that. And we have a lot of conversation on campus about what does it mean for individual faculties, for departments, for colleges, and the university as a whole to try to achieve these goals. Next slide, Stacy. And one of the key strategies that we're using here in the library to support these strategic initiatives is that we really think it's important to have a bottom-up program where we support faculty to tell their own narrative. Texas A&M is an amazingly diverse institution, lots of different kinds of faculty lots of different roles that they do, or in what their careers and what they support at Texas A&M. And so we're trying to build systems here in the library where we have metrics and other systems that help faculty tell their own story, to tell their own narrative, so that they can show the unique contributions and the impact of their work. And therefore, then the reputation of A&M as a whole is an aggregate of all those faculty reputations themselves. Okay, next one, Stacy. Great. And one of the ways that we've been a framework that we've used to consider the wide range of diverse faculty careers at Texas A&M is to use the Boyer's model of scholarship. I don't know if you know this, but this is a very influential report written by Ernest Boyer, the president of the Carnegie Foundation for the Advancement of Teaching back in 1990. And Dr. Boyer was concerned that many universities were emphasizing fundamental research and the associated research dollars that came from federal agencies over all the other aspects of what a university does, like education or serving society through the application of research, or integrating our knowledge in different ways. And so what he came out in this report was a framework that could be used to describe the wide range of roles that faculty can take at a university as large as Texas A&M. And this framework has really served us well as we consider the types of library systems and library services, including the use of altmetrics, to help these different kinds of faculty tell their own story. Okay, next slide. And the way we've approached this, supporting the faculty and departments and colleges in telling their own narrative of the impact and significance of their work, is that we've integrated altmetrics into a research information management system that's focused on the use of the Vivo platform, which is a researcher profile system from DuraSpace, that we call Scholars at Texas A&M. And what this Scholar system does is it provides a system that harvests information about faculty work, building a profile that can be searched and discovered through the Vivo platform. It helps create reports on faculty work at A&M, where we can use those reports to support things like program reviews or accreditation activities like we're doing right now. We've incorporated a range of scholarly and societal engagement impact metrics. We've incorporated, we use Google Scholar and Scopus and Web of Science, of course, for different types of citations and useful for different disciplines. And we've integrated altmetrics into this system too, so that we're expanding the range of metrics available for faculty, so that they can use those metrics to justify that narrative of the impact and significance of their work. And then finally, we've integrated our researcher profile system with our repositories here at A&M. We use both a DSpace repository primarily for documents, and we are building a digital asset management system around the Fedora system for digital collections of pretty much every other digital object. And we can use those systems to help faculty publish a range of the scholarly objects that they produce, not only their published papers or their monographs, but also reports and presentations and preprints and syllabi and all those other things that represent the type of work that they're doing, so that we can cover the diverse work being done by faculty here at Texas A&M. Okay, next slide. And so what was the real power of this system is turning out to be twofold. One is that we are generating the most authoritative database of faculty work here on campus. We are now the source of pretty much all data on faculty work, and where the quality of our data is surpassing the CVs of faculty themselves, which is pretty cool and very useful. really good. But the other aspect that faculty seem to really like is this idea of reusing information, and where information is being harvested by computer scripts from one system to another, so that faculty don't have to do as much work keeping together, keeping a diverse set of internet tools up to date. And so our systems are quite integrated. And so what I'm representing here is my own research profile in vivo in Scholars, and some documents that I'm producing through the library that are stored and curated and in our institutional repository. And all of those things are showing up both in my researcher profile system in Scholars, as well as my Google Scholar page, because of course Google is harvesting our repository. We're incorporating a wide range of metrics for those things, and we're just about to release, we've integrated Altmetrics into our repository, and it should be about a week more, so that every object that's curated in our repository has the Altmetric badge associated with it, so faculty can track engagement with those objects. Okay, next slide. And so when we look at looking at Boyer's model of and applying it to how we are using Scholars at Texas A&M to support faculty careers, I really like this diagram that was created by my colleague, Dr. Don Jun Lee, where he's trying to show there are a range of faculty tracks. Some faculty are tenure track and are very focused on research productivity. We have a large number of professional track faculty that are really focused on teaching. And A&M, because of its vet school and its health science center, we actually have quite a large number of faculty who are clinical or practice oriented. Well, each of these tracks, these career tracks for faculty, emphasize different types of work that they're doing. And we can map those faculty tracks to the 4 areas of Boyer scholarship. So the discovery, teaching, integration, and application of work. And what DJ did then was to track Boyer's scholarship categories to the types of objects that would be produced by work in each of those areas by the different faculty tracks. So for instance, a traditional faculty focused on research, who of course might be an excellent teacher, but it's really their career and their reputations can be generated by the research that they are conducting, the funding that they're getting, the awards that they're getting for that research, is very focused on producing objects where their peer-reviewed work is being there, their grants and awards, that might be generated. Where a faculty member that's engaged in teaching, of course, might be more focused on the courses that they're teaching, the syllabi of their work, innovative instructional activities, presentations, student projects that they've been running, all of which represent non-peer-reviewed gray literature type of documents, which we can publish and make available to the world through our repository, then highlight them in faculty, their faculty profiles, and where we're using Altmetrics to track some of the engagement with that work. And of course, then the faculty can go through and use those objects plus the metrics that they generate to highlight the quality, impact, and productivity of their work, which is the 3 factors that are considered in tenure and promotion. Okay, Stace. And so, and finally, what we get then is why is Scholars working so well? And it really has taken off here at Texas A&M, so that we are now, the library is now the go-to group. It's because we have built an integrated system that has associated complementary services associated with that system, so that we are representing faculty careers in our scholars at Texas A&M, where the faculty have control over the narrative of the work, where they are assured that the data is authoritative, that's being included in that profile, and where they have metrics that are associated with the products of that work that they're representing in their profiles. And that that system then goes off and supports our library services focused on promotion and tenure consultations, where we're helping faculty craft that narrative and justify it with metrics. It helps build interdisciplinary research collaborations here at Texas A&M, because expertise can be discovered through scholars at Texas A&M. It's supporting the marketing and communication of Texas A&M's work to the outside world, because people can discover the kind of work that's being done at Texas A&M and the experts that are doing that work. And finally, we're supporting really enhanced program reviews, accreditation, institutional research, where we're trying to discover what are our strengths and what are our weaknesses here at Texas A&M, so we can continue to move forward. And this idea of complementary services has really been described in this book by The Power of Little Ideas, which I first heard about from an associate dean from Virginia Tech, and really an interesting idea of how to structure our systems. And we found it very useful here at A&M. Okay, and so that's the real quick story of how we're using Altmetrics and incorporating it in scholars at A&M. And I don't know if we have time, but somewhere I'm open to questions. Thanks.